Good morning. Crystal Palace out of the EFL Cup. Arsenal knock them out on penalties. I think it got to about 7 penalties, which was the longest penalty shootout I've seen in a while. Arsenal could have finished the game real early on. They had ample amounts of possession, ample amounts of shots on target. But they just couldn't finish their breakfast. And I think a lot of that did have to do with how Ole Glasner had Crystal Palace set up. They were very solid defensively. They didn't let Arsenal score, from open play. It came from an own goal. So Maxence Lacroix put the ball in the back of his net. Mark Gay goes up the other end and puts it back in favour of Crystal Palace. But no, Ole Glasner ran an incredibly tight ship. I think it was probably Crystal Palace had their moments, but they were definitely on the back foot most of the time, defending and preventing Arsenal from putting anything in their net. Arsenal, they really struggled in front of goal. They started with Jesus up top. I think Martinelli was on there at one point as well. But if it wasn't for Martinez, I think a lot of their chances do go in. Obviously, a heap gets blocked as well. Sorry, who did I say in goal? Benitez. He had a really good game. And then I thought when it came to penalties, I thought, penalties is an odd one because I think as a goalkeeper, you could be doing more. But I suppose it's each to their own and how they want to set up for a penalty shootout. Some really good penalties in there. Some were just rifled top bins, some were rifled up the guts, or whatever. But there was a couple P-rollers where it's like, well, you sit there watching it and it's like, well, if you didn't move on the line and you do your whole theatrical dance and whatever, could you have got to that? If you reacted to the shot instead of being like a guessing game, could you have got to that? And I think there could have been a few saves in the first 10 shootout. First 10 penalties that could have been saved. But then I suppose that's how the goalkeepers, they like to do it. I always felt when I would step up and go and goal for a penalty shootout, I felt better reacting to the penalties. You're always going to get the ones that rifle top bins. There's never anything you can do about that. But it's the ones where they just P-roll or they take the piss, but they wait for you to move. They wait for the penalty taker to move, and then they make a decision. I feel like you should just react. Just react, because the penalty shooter is going to take you one way and go the other way. I think a lot of penalties could be saved if they just waited. If they just waited, stand tall, make a dive. I think I can't think. Maybe it was Sosa, the Croatian player for Crystal Palace, who it rolled it to the left, or someone else rolled it to the left, and I thought, you could get to that if you tried. You could bloody get to that ball and keep it out. But it is what it is. These are professionals, and I'm just a guy talking to my camera. So other than that, I think Arsenal go through. I think they face Chelsea, I think is what they were saying. Yeah, I don't have much more than that.